and happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee, and you can find me at CreativeLeeYours.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US and excited, yes, that you're here with me for our paper crafting fun. Yay! All right, so if you are joining me when this video premieres, today is Tuesday, October 28th of 2025. Crazy, 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 crazy. We're in the final days of October, which means our amazing, absolutely amazing join offer is getting ready to end. It will end on Friday. So if you not yet joined the Diamonds team, I would love to invite you to come in and join our crafty community. We'd love to have you with us. Yes, all good stuff. If you've got any questions, let me know. Happy to get on a chat with you or answer any questions via email, whatever's best for you. All right. Saturday is also the last day to registration for my Christmas craft a stack. So I partnered with my friend Melanie Hawken, and we are bringing this class to you together. It is a non-stamping class, but don't worry, there's still going to be lots of fun. So it's a fast, easy, make stacks of it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But I'm almost sold out. So hopefully I'll be able to leave registration open through Saturday. But if it sells out before then, I am so sorry. You missed out, right? So if you want to get in on that class, register right away, get your payment in right away to reserve your spot. All right. Registration for Cultivated Creativity. So can you see a sneak behind me? Ooh, some of them, not all of them are up there. But I do have a sneak peek video posting on Friday, so you'll be able to see the projects. We are still on a wait list. The program is technically sold out. I will be able to open up a few spots in November, so I open that up to the wait list. So if you're not on the wait list and you want to get in on the program, get on the wait list, right? So that you don't miss out on our fantastic projects. Of course, the best way to stay up to date on everything is to join my email list. It sure is. You get a free tutorial bundle, not one, a bundle of projects every single month from me as your gift. And I don't share those anywhere else. And right now we're in the middle of our 12 weeks of holidays. So you get an extra project duo every single week. So this is the time to get on the list. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over to today's crafty fun, shall we? All right, so for today's project, we are featuring the Peace on Earth Stamp and Die Bundle. I love this one. It's super versatile. You could totally do Christmas cards with these. However, I really like the other sentiments in here. These are great for sympathy, just kind of thinking of you, sending some hugs, sending some love, all good things, right? So I love this, and I love that it's a sentiment stamp set, right? And then you've got some great dies to go along with it. So it's not too complex, pretty easy to use, which is fun, right? So the project we're creating today is this one right here. This is a Sending Prayers card. Unfortunately, this time of year, you have the festivities of the holidays, but we also tend to experience loss. And it's sad, but it's part of kind of, I think, this time of year, right? Like we experience loss all year long, but for some reason it hits us a little harder at the holidays. So we want to be prepared with some projects on hand that we can use. Of course, you could leave your sentiment off and then add whatever you want, because this could be a wedding card, a birthday card, any sort of celebration, a thinking of you, sending love, all kinds of fun things that you could choose if you didn't need a sympathy card, right? It's just gorgeous how it is. Now, this project is going to be my bonus project that I am putting in my Cultivated Creativity kits for November. So we are featuring the Peace on Earth bundle and creating 5 fantabulous projects, 4 cards and 1 Nada card. And the Nada card is a fun surprise that I know that everybody's going to love, our little giftable in there. But so I do put a card down in everyone's packets as a bonus, using the same products that, or at least using the same stamp set that we are featuring, just to give an extra idea. And we do include the tutorial, written out PDF tutorial in the tutorial, so that they have all of that they need to recreate this on their own. So I am making a large stack of these. I'm actually making 192 this month. So I need something that is fabulous, but is not too crazy to do, because I got a lot of them to make. So we're going to do this one. And I've brought the design to the inside, but I've kept it super, super simple, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started on this. So I'm starting with my thick basic white card base. So this is 4¼ by 11, and I'm going to fold it in half. Now, if I didn't already say so, if you are watching this video when it premieres, you can go right over to my website, CreativeLeeYours.com, and you can find the complete project list with the cut dimensions, and you can print that off if you choose to, so you can recreate this card. Now, I'm going to use every print in this paper pack, and I'll show you samples of each of those, but I wanted to make this look like a full piece of designer paper across the back here. You could, if I was doing a one-off, I might not use cheater strips. I might go ahead and cut that 4¼ by 4 and be done. But because I'm making so many cards and I need to stretch my product as far as I can, I am doing what I call cheater strips. So these are 2 pieces of 3/4 by 4 inch, which is going to allow you to get 100% out of your designer series paper when you work across each of your prints, which I think is fantastic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere these down. I'm going to turn my card to the side here. And I am a stamp and seal kind of gal. I like the tape runner, so I am going to use that. Now, I'm going to use my grid as a little bit of a guide here. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered, but I'm going for centered-ish. How about that? So I'm putting 1 strip down. Now, my grid is going to help me put this strip down at the other side and make it look like it's all one piece of paper because it's all lined up. So I'm 3 squares down. I'm going to go 3 squares down. And now I've got what looks like, once you cover it, a continuous piece of designer series paper. All right. Next, I'm going to bring in my secret C layer. So this is 3½ by 4 7/8. And then I've got a piece of cloud cover that is cut 3¼ by 4 3/4. Now, I'm going to go run this with the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. So here we go. And one of my favorite things about this folder is that you can use it straight up and down, or you can turn it to the diagonal, which allows you to really change up the appearance of your layer. So I love the flexibility with that. I love that we get to choose, and because of the size of the folder, sometimes I can put more than 1 piece in there at a time. So let me slide this over for just a minute. Now, we could easily just put an embossed layer right on the card front, but I wanted to add a little bit more interest, something that had a little more pizzazz to it. So I am bringing in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut this into 3 strips. I'm going to start at the 1 1/2 inch mark, and I'm going to cut my first strip at 1 1/2. Then I'm going to cut my second strip at 1, which is going to leave me a 3/4 inch strip. Now, these don't have to be cut at these measurements. You could pick and choose however you want to do it. I just wanted something that had a progression to it that was wider and got narrower as I worked across my piece there. So that's what I like about it. You do what makes you happy, right? All right, so let's go ahead and put these down. I'm going to start with my outer 2 strips first, and I am going to put one at one side, and I'm looking at my 3 edges here. So I'm looking at this, this, and this to make sure that I am nice and straight. Now, it looks like I've got a little bit of fraying going on. Sometimes when I cut embossed cardstock, I get that, and I should have kept my little sander. I do have it. I've got a little baby sander here. You can find this in my Amazon shop in my favorite things if you need one to keep on your crafty table. And I can just run it along the edge and, get those rough edges off. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put my larger piece on the opposite side down next, because if I have any spacing variation, I want it to fall in the center. So let's put this one down. And again, we're looking at those 3 edges, but this time these 3 edges. All right, nice. I'm happy with that so far. Let's put down our 3rd strip. Okay, and we're just going to center it. So if my spacing is a little bit narrower, that's okay. If it's a little bit wider, that's okay, right? So it really kind of elevates this once you split that and put that down, I think, right? Have you guys tried this before? I'd love to know. And you can use whatever embossing folders you want. You could use the trick where you use your Simply Scored and create your own pattern versus using an embossing folder. That's always fun as well, to just kind of change it up and make it your own. So I am almost to the end of this Stampin' Dimensional sheet. So I'm using all my edges. Every little bit of that is great goodness that I can use. No waste on that guy. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Now, I don't have a top and bottom, so I could change my orientation if I wanted to and have the narrow on the left. I like the narrow on the right, but again, you do you, right? Now, I'm popping up this layer. If that is too much for you and you want it flat, go ahead and make that flat. All right, so the next thing I want to do is pull back in my dies, and I'm grabbing the smaller of the two label dies. Now, I have chosen to cut a strip of white cardstock that is 1 inch wide. So this is going to allow me to change up this label spacing because I didn't want all this extra white space. And this is kind of my focal point of my card, right? I've got my background texture going on, but really my sentiment is the star of my show. So I chose to cut it narrower, and I'm going to go die cut this to give me a label that is a little different than what was intended, right? So I've got this right here, which I think is a fantastic way to change it up and make it your own. Okay, now let's stamp our sentiments on this one. First thing I want to do is I want to double check and make sure that I don't have any residual ink on my stamps because I'm going to do a little masking. So my sentiment actually says heartfelt prayers. I only want the prayers. So I'm just checking to make sure there's no residual ink on this because sometimes I have a little left over even after I clean it. So I just want to make sure it's nice and clean. And I am just grabbing some painter's tape. You can use masking paper, you can use sticky notes, you can use washi tape, whatever makes your heart happy. If you do need some painter's tape, I do have it in my Amazon shop in my favorite things. So I'm just covering the heartfelt up with my masking tape here. And then I'm going to bring in my Secret C ink pad, and I'm going to ink up just the prayers part of it. Now the masking tape is going to keep it so that I don't get ink on what I don't want ink on, right? But the key is you have to remove this or you're going to get a blob of ink. Now I can see that I missed inking up the very top. I'm going to see if I can do this without putting my masking tape on there. See if I can get just the very top of that R and that S. Oh, so very close. Let's see if I can do it without my tape. It's risky. I'm still going to miss that little bit of R. One more try. See if I can get it on this end. One thing I love about photopolymers that we can see through. I think I got it this time. So let's move that ink pad out of the way so I don't end up wearing it. And I'm going to stamp prayers down on my sentiment here. And I shouldn't get the heartfelt. Yay! It worked. I love it when it works. So you're going to want to clean that really, really well before you do it again. If you're making mass producing of your cards. Now you could set all this up on a stamp positioning tool as well and use that if you'd like to. Now the next thing I want to do is I want sending on there, and I wanted a two-tone sentiment, so I'm going to use cloud cover. So I have a little ink spot that I've created because you know we do not have a cloud cover ink pad. There was an issue with the shifting of the color. If you don't know this already, there was an issue with the shifting of the color. So you can make your own cloud cover ink pad with our little Stampin' Spots. So you can get 5 of these in a pack that are uninked, and then you can make your own ink spot by getting a re-inker and putting some drops of ink on it. So that's what I've done to get myself a cloud cover ink pad, right? So it didn't have a problem with this old, these felt type pads, but it was our foam pad. For whatever reason, the chemistry of that did not like what we were doing. So anyway, we're all good now. Next, I want to bring in, I've got this lovely sprig here. I've die cut that with smoky slate cardstock. And then I want to bring in a little bit of ribbon. So let me grab that. So I've got my Secret C ribbon, and I am going to just clip that off. It's about 4 inches or so that you would want to have here if you're going to do it the way I'm doing it, but you don't have to do it exactly the same. I'm going to take this and put a little adhesive in the middle, fold this in half, okay, and then I'm actually going to adhere it right to my card base. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive right there, I'm going to tack that down in place where I want it. So I want it hanging off the edge of this layer, but I don't want to go past my outer layer. Even though it's super soft, it would be okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add some glue on this. Now, I'm going to be lazy, and I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to run my tape runner along the bottom of this. You can use liquid glue. You can use whatever makes your heart happy. That's going to be covered, and that's why I was not worried about having a little extra adhesive on there. Okay, now, because all of this is going to be covered, you could choose to clip off some of that if you didn't want to have all that on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop up my sentiment with my Stampin' Dimensionals. Again, if that's too much height for you, don't do it, right? You can skip that and go straight down and put it flat on your card base if you prefer. I just really like it popped up. Adds a little more character and height. All right, so then I'm going to slide this right over the top. And I do have this label offset. I like to cross my layers. So I'm having it come across this layer, but not past this outer edge because I want to be able to put this in an envelope. And it's okay if you see a little bit of peeking of your little foliage coming out of the bottom there. Now let's finish off this front with some of our Hues of Blue flowers. I love these. And you've got 4 colors to choose from: the Secret Sea, Misty Moonlight, Cloud Cover, and the white ones. Because my designer paper is the Secret Sea, I'm going to use one of the Secret Sea flowers. You can use the big ones or the little ones. Since I did a big one on the first one, let's use a little one on this. And I'm just going to add a little flower to that little foliage there. Cute? How fun. Now, let's bring our design to the inside. So I've got a piece of white cardstock that measures 3 3/8 by 4 3/4, and I want to stamp my sentiment with Secret Sea ink. So let's see if I can find that. There's my sentiment. I'm making a mess already. And here is my Secret Sea ink. There we go. And I'm just going to ink that up. So again, you could bring some of the design to the inside if you wanted to with your designer series paper. I am just keeping it super, super simple, right? I want to send some hugs for a good friend. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. And then I've chosen to bring the design to the inside by replicating that layered look with the Secret Sea cardstock. So let's go ahead and add our basic white to that layer. And we're just centering it left, right, top to bottom. And then we're going to add that to the inside of our card. And then we are good to go. Now, oh, look at that. My tape tore the, let's see if I can get it to run again. There we go. My tape tore the paper. It will do that every once in a while. Today is a super rainy, stormy day. And so there's a little moisture in the air. And so sometimes the fibers will pull apart, right? Because our adhesive is so sticky. But that's okay. We made it work. It's all good. And I know that this is going to stick down really, really well. Now, again, if you wanted to bring those cheater strips to the inside as well, you totally could do that. I'm going to keep it simple, right? What do you guys think? Do you love it? Let's see all the other prints as well. So as I created with the other prints, I made a couple of changes. So this print here had a little bit of pecan pie. And so it looked a little bit better changing that sprig to the pecan pie. Everything else is the same. Same thing on this one. This print here was a dark background and it had this little touch of the pecan pie. So that's why I changed the sprig to the pecan pie on that one as well. Now on the last two, I kept the basic gray or the smoky slate, sorry, but I changed this layer to the Misty Moonlight and changed my stamping on this sentiment to Misty Moonlight because it went best with those prints. So you can just kind of make subtle changes to make it work with any print that you've got in your crafty stash. So do you guys have a favorite? Do you have a preference on which one you like the best? I think they're all fantastic and beautiful in their own, on their own, right? So if you guys are enjoying the content I'm sharing with you, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help my channel and I'd appreciate a follow. I'd love to see you back every Tuesday as we create some fantastic projects. And don't forget to invite your friends. They want to come join us as well, I'm sure, right? All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week and I will see you again next Tuesday for a little more crafty fun. Bye for now.